What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Nocturnal Movie Club. I'm joined by my esteemed co-hosts Jay King and Ethan Singh. We are reviewing The Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 3 on Disney Plus. Ethan, break it down for us.
I would love to. I was really excited for this episode after where we left off, with Bucky suggesting they break out Zemo, and that's exactly where we pick up. Bucky hatches a little bit of a plan to Sam's chagrin to break out Zemo from prison. They do so, and they try to figure out a way of trying to figure out how the Captain America Super Soldier Serum has been leaking to the world. Zemo says he's got a contact in Madripoor, and they start to immediately venture out to this cyberpunk 2077-esque Blade Runner mix-up of a city. So it looks sort of like a super futuristic version of Singapore. They get there, they stir up trouble, they introduce all these interesting characters, and of course, things go bad almost immediately. They get a 1,000 Bitcoin bounty on their head, which at the time of recording is like $40 million. And they are promptly saved by Sharon Carter, a character that I'm sure a lot of people have been waiting to see again. But yeah.
OJ especially.
OJ especially. And she comes in clutch. She saves them. She helps to figure out what they could do. They get a lot of good character building moments where Sam is now starting to see where his character has been developing from the moment where he dropped the shield off to where he is now, where he feels that the shield should be destroyed. So we're still getting some great character development moments. From there, Sharon sets up a meeting with someone who can help them, perhaps the guy who is making the serum. They venture on a mission to find him, find out what's going on. And in the event, we get a whole recap of where that serum has been going, how the blip affected all of that, and where they are today. And more about how the power broker, this new mysterious character in Madripoor, is coming to become an integral character in this universe. Zemo, devoted to end all sort of superpowered people at all costs, ends up killing the scientists. They escape. Sharon Carter gets in a car with a mysterious woman and leaves. Bucky, Sam, and Zemo are now a epic trio, and they venture out to Riga to find out where Carly is going to be, Carly being the leader of the Flag Smashers. Meanwhile, Carly and the Flag Smashers have been setting themselves up as some sort of benevolent group helping out people who have been affected by the blip. And even towards the end, they steal 6 months' supply of food to try to help feed people, only to then blow up the survivors in an act of terrorism from the people they robbed, showing that while they may be benevolent, they are still terrorists at the end of the day. So we get that conflicted point of view. And John Walker, Captain America, is always one step behind, hot on the trail, but not just there. And after realizing Bucky and Sam are the ones freeing Zemo, the split between them is now finalized, and the new Captain America will be hunting them down. And my favorite final scene here, Bucky starts picking up pieces and pieces. Someone's been leaving him breadcrumbs, and he finds a Wakanda rep who is now here to get revenge for King T'Challa. And so we leave off here. OJ, thoughts?
Okay, this was definitely like a fuller episode, but it did a lot of great things to move the plot along.
Yep.
I love all the world building and connecting the Winter Soldier has been doing. Like having Don Cheadle and having somebody from Wakanda. What's the guard for Okoye's character? Gosh, I feel so terrible forgetting that group's name.
I don't remember it either. There's a lot of recap I have to do for these episodes because they're bringing in all these different lore pieces.
Yeah, it's been so prevalent lately in the movies and all that stuff. So I'm like drawing a blank. The Dora Milaje, sorry. So we see she's definitely a Dora Milaje. Mm-hmm. So like I appreciate seeing a Dora Milaje, and it's not just any Dora Milaje. It's the first one from Civil War, which is great. So I appreciate all these like characters popping back up. I read previously that when we were getting Sharon Carter back and we're going to finally go by her comic book name, Agent 13. So we see her leaving that car. She's definitely still an agent of sorts, whether that be an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., an agent of SWORD, an agent of maybe she's working for Nick Fury. Who knows on the side?
Maybe she's a Skrull.
Maybe she's a Skrull, but by the end of the series, she will be known as Agent 13, which is cool. So So I'm curious to see where Sharon goes and what she's really doing. And she's like, maybe she's like Bucky and Sam's protector of sorts, or who knows what she's really her true motive. But she's definitely is lying and has not living in that place, or like not at all. She's undercover. Zemo was great in this episode. He was definitely. I'm just so curious. Is he the true villain? He's very doing the anti-hero thing. He's doing really well. He's doing it better than I think Bucky, honestly.
I was a little conflicted too, because in the moment after he kills the scientist, I thought he's going off script from what his teammates want to do. This is his moment in the explosion. I was even saying out loud that like, okay, and this is it. This is the moment where he used Bucky and Sam. Yeah. He's gonna go on his own way.
But no,
he stays.
He stays true to like. But like when he gets into that room, we all know he's going to kill that scientist.
Of course.
Like his motive has not changed. So like. And his motives haven't changed from when we first introduced him. He was never a true villain per se. Like he wanted to his it's complicated, and that's what this whole show has been about. Like that gray area of like who's good and what's bad. So we got more of that with Zemo. This episode is a lot better than as I think about it more. It's better.
Oh, it was amazing,
and even with the terrorist girl, like. Because we think, for a little bit, we're like kind of on her side, like maybe,
yeah.
And then she commits that, like, then she kills innocent people, like, yep. So it's like shit. All right, so we're not on her side, so it's confusing. Like, do we like her? Do we not? Is she good? Is she evil? Like, so it's all those questions of like good and evil,
and being like, misguided is the big thing.
Being misguided and what's wrong
is a key principle here.
Yeah, and it even comes up in all these decisions as they break him out. Like it's like Sam's like, I'm not gonna make that decision. So it's a lot of questions of like. I say the big theme for this episode, like what's good versus evil and the line between it. But it's also like I think a theme for this general show.
And I'm liking it. This whole espionage political thriller theme is really working for me. It also personally makes me way more excited for the Black Widow movie because this stuff they're doing it really well. This is not Marvel's wheelhouse, and they're kind of killing it. Yeah. I'm a big fan of what they're doing here.
Yeah, and I can't wait because I think we're supposedly getting some kind of Florence Pugh cameo towards the end of the series.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Interesting.
Get excited for Black Widow. Overall I think it was a solid episode.
The thing that stood out to me the most, I don't know about you guys, but was Zemo, like just his body language, just the way, because you would think like following Captain America Civil War, how would he behave towards the Avengers? But he feels a little bit more in control now than he did at the time of Civil War, because it seemed like he was very like surrounded by his own grief, but here like he has some time away from it, so it almost makes you wonder what his state of mind is at this point.
Even for setting up character dynamics, having two figures always makes things difficult with Sam and Bucky because they have to constantly either be opposing each other or one opposing the other and the other one resisting. But when you get three characters, you can get something that was first coined in clown theory of getting this triangular movement of dynamicism. And we get so much more of that. The character interactions are more vivid, more real, and it's more vibrant. He kind of took the show to a new level to me in terms of their exploration. They got out of the United States. They got out of just pockets here of just different things. And now we're getting this huge, colorful world before us. And I'm loving it.
What I'm also interested in is when they were inside that bar and Bucky ended up showing his Winter Soldier side.
Yeah.
And I told him there's still a little bit of that left in you.
I
wonder like how that's going to play in.
He said you saw how easy it was for him to slip back into that role.
Yeah.
That I loved.
That was, I'm really excited to see where they take this because up until now, Bucky has been like holding his own like for the past couple episodes. And now we're starting to see like it could go back the other way.
And Zemo is taking control of everything now. Like even the way he's been directing the guys, he's the one in control now. Sam and Bucky on their own don't know what they're doing. They have no direction.
No, he's a master manipulator, as we both know. So
that's what makes him one of the better Marvel villains too.
Yeah.
And he fit to me. He could fit perfectly in the universe of the show The Boys, because that's his whole MO. He wants to see. That's why I thought he was going to escape there, because he wants to see every superhero, including these two to some degree, dead. He wants to see every Avenger dead, and he'll befriend them as far as he can get before he can kill him. That's his goal at the end of the day.
I don't know if he wants to see them dead, but I don't think he wants to see them active. Like, I don't think he wants to see them dead because he's like evil. He's at the end of the day, he's not an evil person, but so I don't think he wants to see them dead necessarily. But I think he wants to see them deactivated.
Yes,
you know,
that's true.
So it was so good. It was just like, and I love that we get to see all these like the Disney Plus shows gives us moments to get a moment for Agent 13, Sharon Carter, to resurrect Zemo, and we're gonna get what you call it? I forget his name. The villain from Iron Man 2.
What was his name?
The fact check it.
Sam Rockwell's character.
Okay, I was thinking Mickey Rourke.
So we're gonna get him in.
I was thinking armor. Mickey Rourke too, dude.
No, no, he died, guys.
Wait, he died?
Yeah,
I am blanking on so many of these older.
Yeah, Justin Hammer, played by Sam Rockwell. So I love that we're gonna get him in Armored Wars. So like we're gonna revisit some of these villains that didn't die and like see where they ended up. And ultimately, I think Zemo is going to end up in the Thunderbolts, like I've been saying, which is like Feige's like Suicide Squad. So yeah, and I think he'll fit perfectly in that world.
I would love for him to say too, because Daniel Bruhl is such a great actor.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. Awesome. People have also been floating around that theory. I don't know if you see is that he's the best foreign actor in the world today.
All right, that's a bit much.
That's debatable.
That's too much. I still think there's guys like Christoph Waltz out there, and you're also discounting like all of Asia.
The iconic Jean-Claude Van Damme. How dare he?
Who else can do a split on 2 moving trucks? Am I right, guys? I don't know if y'all sell a commercial.
Jean-Claude all the way.
Well, actually, now Hugh Bonneville, Paddington 2.
Yeah.
He does split on guys, trains.
That's another thing. Paddington movies, I will go to bat for those. Paddington 2, killer film.
Me too. I picked that as the best film of the year.
Really? And I would stand by you with that. That movie was hilarious.
Yeah, honestly, like of everything I saw that year, like that was the film that had the best of everything.
Yeah. So that's just a quintessential book in how to write a movie, so textbook.
Yeah.
But
all right, guys. So what are we rating this episode?
Yes, let's rate this.
I'm giving it a solid 7. The story was great. The cameos from the world building, I thought that was all great. I think it's going to get better, but overall, I give it a solid 7.
I'll give it a 8.5 out of 10, maybe higher, maybe a 9. I think 8.5 is fair, at least off initial viewing. I think this felt like a literal mini Marvel movie. It was filled with interesting action, good political intrigue, great character dynamics, good character motivations, and good character development. We see Captain America, the new Captain America figure, truly become a little more evil, even accusing people of, do you know who I am? I'm Captain America now.
Oh, yeah.
As Zemo said, he's now being corrupted by power. He literally accused all of them of doing that. Great character development throughout. Good plot movement and good establishment of who the figures are as we kind of close this halfway point of this show.
Yeah, damn, I gotta go higher. I feel like I gotta take that back. I think I might have to go to 8.
Yeah.
So what's your standard rating?
It's really that good. I'm just so surprised. I was so ready for this show not to be good. I don't know why. I was just ready for this show not to be good.
Because we had Marvel fatigue. That's why.
Yeah, but it's so good. It's just really good.
Yeah, I'm loving this show, guys. Every episode to me so far has been a 9 or an 8.
It's been a knockout. It's been
I love this show so much more than WandaVision. I'll put that out there from now.
It's more consistent than WandaVision is.
Oh, so much so. It blows
it's more
it out the bloody water.
And it's doing a lot more things. It's just, and it's talking about a lot more things. All other Wanda talking about a lot of things I don't think people got, especially in regards to like grief and that.
Yeah. And race. Did you notice the point on race there when they're playing the second time?
Yeah.
Talking about the disenfranchisement of the black super soldier.
Right.
Liking on his name now.
And then Isaiah Walker.
Isaiah, that's it. I kept thinking Ezra for some reason.
And then just even like the whole jail comment. It's just like it's just like a little nod. And then 8. Sorry, 8.
So good.
Jake, go ahead.
I have to probably give it an 8.5 out of 10. Like I thought the last episode like hit a lot of really good points home. And so I wasn't expecting this one to do as many, but what I wanted was for Zemo to be front and center. And it was all the better for that. I loved every scene that he was in. I loved his interactions. I like what you guys were saying about exploring the gray areas of the line between good and evil. Yeah, this was a little bit of a filler episode, but it was still very enjoyable. You know, it felt like an important piece inside a giant puzzle that has different working parts and areas. So I felt this fit perfectly.
And that's a great point. This is a filler episode at the end of the day, and it was a knockout. We all loved it.
Yeah.
Who else can do that but Marvel?
Yeah, I'm having a hard time finding fault of criticism, but
yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's like the criticisms like feel like they don't even match up to our praises here.
Yeah, they don't. It's just it's.
I'll be bitter for a second, just in case anyone didn't like it. What did this episode do wrong, right? Carly and the Flag Smashers, that trope of we're good terrorists, but we're also doing evil because that's the only thing people respect. That's a little played out, but come on. How much are you gonna knock that? That's such a minor part of this episode with all the different threads being woven in. And when you have a political thriller, you need to have a bunch of different webs woven in. For those inexperienced with political thrillers, Game of Thrones is a political thriller with a bunch of different threads woven in. We've got the whole Wakanda effort. We've got Zemo's side. We've got Sam's side. We've got Bucky's side, the US side with Captain America. And that's awesome. So you can't discount one part of it.
I wasn't even expecting the Wakanda cameo. It was just
but
it was so. But once I saw it, it was so obvious.
I know
that was a true reveal.
Between Zemo being like the killer of King T'Chaka, and Bucky's time there, and I remember we didn't even talk about this last time, but like he name checked himself as the White Wolf.
Yeah,
which is even better because like we all we all thought he was moving into the White Wolf direction, which is another comic book character. But yeah, it just all made sense. I was like, oh, duh. And for it to be actually one of the Dora Milajes that we actually know, because none of us know the Dora Milaje other than like Okoye, Denai Guerrero's character, but like for it to be Florence Kumba, I'm probably saying her name wrong, but Florence, who also played in The Lion King and in Civil War, it's perfect.
It's incredible. That kind of continuity. Like, what could you knock on this? Marvel doesn't make mistakes.
But see, DC, this is what you get when you have continuity.
Ooh.
World building. You can do all these cool things. Like, so frustrating because they have the tools. They just don't use it properly. Like, so frustrating.
And this is my mission on this podcast, to praise Marvel and knock DC. Even though I've been
doing we want DC to be better.
We want Snyder Cut to be the DC universe, period. That's what I want.
Yes.
I want them to build on that, even though they're not doing that. They've said they're not doing that. That's what I want.
Well, let's see. I have hope that things could turn around. Like, it depends, because the fans already got their support so far to get the Snyder Cut released. So imagine going ahead.
I would love to see it. Plus, Warner Brothers not doing too hot these days, are they?
No.
They're not doing that well.
Well, it depends on how the Oscars go.
Also true. But
I mean, but
so I create hashtag release the Snyderverse.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers is so much more than that. Like, they're doing well. They're AT&T, at the end of the day.
And it's a small branch of that.
Yeah, it's just so it's just like, are we doing well? Yeah, we're the oldest phone company in the world. Of course, we're doing well. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us and watching this. We'll be back next week with another episode. See you then. Peace.